No, it is impossible. It is impossible to convey the life sensation of any given epoch of one's existence, that which it makes its truth, its meaning, its subtle and penetrating essence. It is impossible. We live as we dream, alone. And good evening to you. How is everyone doing this evening? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. I, of course, am your friendly neighborhood, the Dungeon Delver, and I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic one on this Monday night. If this is your first time stopping by here, if you're one of the many, many people that has subscribed to the channel as of late, and you're just catching these live streams, welcome. Welcome, one and all. And we have a lighting problem here. Oh my gosh! Hang on a second, guys. I got to fix it. Just occurred to me. Hang on. I'll be right back. Don't worry. Hold on. These things happen. Much better. Anyway, so yeah, if this is your first time stopping by, that's, I'm one guy. I don't have a crew. So, I got to jump up and plug things in, and, sometimes connections aren't exactly right. So take it in stride. You get edification. You get a Joseph Conrad quote to start the stream, but then I have to jump up and plug my light in. But anyway, if the tides of YouTube have just brought you here and you haven't already, please do click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications. And if you like this live stream, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below and tell me what you like. If you don't like this live stream, give it a thumbs down and leave a comment below and tell me what you don't like. One way or the other, I'll do more or less of those things that you like or you dislike. Because that's what I'm here for, you guys. Like, I do this for y'all, the collective, all y'all. But anyway, so and a couple of other things before I get into it. If you want to support the show on Patreon, you can support us for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, or for $2 a month with a YouTube membership. At the $10 level, guess what? Every month you'll get a free first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons module, either penned by myself or by my co-host Kyle Schuant. It is mini in length. It's just something you could slip into a campaign, or you could run as a single standalone adventure. But it is for first edition AD&D. No, it's not for OSE. It's not for this. It's not for that. It is first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And because that's what we do. That's what we love around here. So this month's module has gotten a little delayed because my wife was sick for almost 2 weeks, but I hope to have that up by midweek. And then Kyle's will come out. You know what? I have Kyle's manuscript. It's good to go. I'll probably bring it up a little bit as kind of a mea culpa, and then we'll go to a more regular month, like first of the month, last of the month, just right in there. So we'll do it like that. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. Also, speaking of module creations, if you don't follow me on Twitter, that's fine. I know a lot of people don't like Twitter. first edition AD&D, and generally speaking, classic D&D Twitter is actually a lot of fun. I've found not a lot of garbage settles down there. There's silly arguments, but ultimately, I think it's just, I think it's just guys arguing football teams, right? But I have suddenly found myself almost at 2,000 subscribers on Twitter. So what I'm going to do when I hit 2,000 subscribers on Twitter, I will be releasing a limited sale, first edition AD&D module. Now, because I'm selling it and because Wizards of the Coast has become openly douchebag-like in their approach and everything, of course, it won't say AD&D on it, but it will look like a first edition AD&D module. I'll get the fonts and everything. It'll be nice and crispy, and it'll be on sale for 20 hours, 20 minutes, and 20 seconds. Don't hit me up at 20 hours, 20 minutes, and 21 seconds and say, oh, I just found this. Can I download it? No. And what I'll do is I'll just do it through PayPal. You kick me $10. I email you a copy of the module. And that's how we'll do that. That's how we'll celebrate crossing the 2,000 follower mark on Twitter. Don't ask me what I'll do for something more significant. We'll have a snazzy picture in the cover. I don't know. A stick man, probably. I can't draw worth a flip. North of the Rockies. It is typical nerd arguments, but it's not like hateful stuff, like it gets their dirty history greetings. So a bunch of you guys have been asking in the chat. No, it's not Advanced Me Have Stick. Sorry. A bunch of you guys have been asking in the chat. And so I want to give you an update. Mrs. the Dungeon Delver is on the mend very much. So she's been cleared to go back to work tomorrow, which I'm a little sussy about for a couple of reasons, primarily for her health. Okay. But we'll see. We'll get her. I'll get her there, and I'll basically be on standby, sitting on the edge of my seat, thusly, watching the texts. And if she says, can't breathe, heading back out there. So that's what's going on. What will I do for a Klondike bar? Get back to me on that. So anyway, that's what's happening with Mrs. the Dungeon Delver, and I thank everyone, all of you, for your patience with the show, because Friday we were to have a Gamma World live stream, and I know there's a strong, a big underground fan base of Gamma World out there in the live stream audience, but as it happened, I just didn't feel like I get into a game, right? And it's like, okay, roll initiative. All right. So roll to hit, and that sort of thing. And it's one of those things that it completely breaks the game funk to have to get up and go do something. It really does. And that's not a criticism of what's going on with Mrs. the Dungeon Delver. She doesn't feel well. I've got to be on my look, let me tell you something. I got a fridge full of cider and Guinness. Not full of it. Mostly needs to be cleaned out. Actually, it's full of terrible stuff. But I haven't been able to knock one back, because if she has a respiratory issue and I got to get her over to the ER or the walk-in or something like that, I can't be up on a bunch of beers, right? So, I've even been holding off on that. So Friday, we did not live stream Gamma World as we usually do, because I wanted to be here. I did do a live stream. Friday night, and a long one too. It would have been about as long as the actual Gamma World live stream. So yeah, that's about the next module. Yeah, Ace Pineapple is good, Robert. It is very tasty. So So yeah, if I was just shooting the shit, and as it happens, I did have to get up a couple of times, and my buddy Don McVitie was guesting on the show. Big props to Don, and he drove for a while when I went back there, and I saw what the missus needed, and it turns out it was just I had to help her gather her nighttime medications together. You just got a 3D printer. Yeah. That's awesome. Filament or resin? Wonderful. If you're talking about any updates about the 3D printing video ideas, yeah, it's going to be its own channel because YouTube hates multi-topic channels. Either switch your brand over or start a new channel. And by switch your brand over, I mean just brace for impact, because you're going to smash nose first into the bottom of the algorithm. You are going to be way down here, even if you were way up here. So it's going to be its own channel. You can't subscribe now. Good Lord, Danny, calm down, my friend. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enthusiastic about it. It's coming. It's coming soon. So you have a filament printer. You have an awesome printer for terrain, for big pieces, that the dragon you've been eyeing, that sort of thing. But we'll talk about that at the appropriate time. Anyway, Vaughn had asked about the module, the one that will be for sale. It will not be like DD1 in that it will be, first of all, it's not going to be low level. It's not going to be one player, one dungeon master. It's going to be for a party, and it's going to be high level. I'll tell you the title right now. It's The Terror at 2000 Fathoms is what it's called. Because let me tell you, every now and again, it's just nice to look at a module on your shelf and see for character levels 11 to 15 and just smile, But of course, the problem with a module like that, or at least on my part, is I have to account for 11th to 15th or 10th to 14th or 9th to 12th level magic users. Fighters, not so much. A magic user who might have wish, that's something I've got to be aware of. And it will be an underwater adventure. I've been feeling aquatic lately. Where in world? I am glad you asked that, Chris. It will be set off the southern coast of it's right. It is literally on the tip of my tongue. It's damn it! Now I got. Oh gosh, I got to look at the World of Greyhawk map. I know where it's at. I mean, I know where it's at. It's hang on a second. Hold up. Let me see. Let's look here. Hardby, that's it. It will be located near Hardby in the World of Greyhawk, and yes, it will be. Anti-magic zones. Just, I don't know. No, Vaughn, it's not the same as the members modules. This is something extra, which is why I'm charging for it. Like, I would not say to you guys who are members, who are supporting members, be it on Patreon or on YouTube memberships, hey, pay me $10 a month and I'll give you, I'll give you a D&D module, and then turn around and give a bunch of randos on Twitter a free module that I also spend time working on. That would just be an insult. So yes, there will be a charge for it. So that is a thing that's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it. So a couple of RPG news pieces. One is less RPG news, and it's more kind of a human interest sort of thing. Ernie Gygax, I know last week I had said, hey, he's doing better. He is not doing better. He's actually in the cardiac care unit in Madison, Wisconsin. All of our thoughts and prayers go out to Ernie. Ernie, of course, Ernie's has been a part of the old school gaming scene revival. He's Gary Gygax Jr., right? Hobby Shop Dungeon, regardless of how you think how that whole thing shook out. Ernie has he's had his ups and downs, and we're hoping he gets back up from this. So that is that is the hope that Ernie bounces back, and that we can all bug him at Gary Con for many years to come. I highly doubt I'll be there in 2024, but you guys can do it. You guys go bother Ernie and said, Bill Sylvie the Dungeon Delver told us to bother you. So what else is happening? Speaking of the oldest of schools, those of you who know, who do know, or maybe you think you know and you don't actually know, Gary's estate has been basically sold. It is being auctioned off. I think Doomsword actually won one of the auctions for a Star Frontiers mini. Good on you. I would have loved to have bid on something. I just assumed everything would be astronomically priced, but you got that for a pretty good price. But yes, of course you can memorize the same spell time and again. I mean, when you're an 11th level magic user, what do you have? What use do you have for first level, except the ability to toss out 5 magic missiles, 6 times, right? Throw in Rary's mnemonic enhancer on top of that, or extension, or something incredible like that. But the jewel in the crown. And I think this is in more way than one. The jewel in the crown of Gary Gygax's collection, the Monster Manual, which was autographed, not just by Gary, but by David C. Sutherland, Tom Wham, I believe, but also this is like having Babe Ruth's autograph on a baseball card. David A. Trampier. I don't know of any autographed Trampier items floating around out there. That sold for north of $26,000. That's up there. That's up there. That's something else. So, yeah, that I'm glad. Like, usually if I see just some rando who puts up an OCE set and starts the bidding at $4,000, and then you see it actually go for that irritates me, because these OCE sets aren't rare. They're not. They're just not. I mean, they're not as common as they were, say, in the 90s. But in a sane world, you should be able to pick one up for about $50 or $60. But of course you can't. But you can get the PDFs. You can buy the PDFs and do as you will with those. But when you're talking about something with Gary Gygax's signature on it, like, say, for example, my Dungeon Master's Guide, or my original D&D books, or my copy of Keep on the Borderlands, but also Dave Trampier's signature. That is a piece of pop culture history, and I'm glad that it got that much. Chris says, is Luke the one auctioning Gary stuff or Gail? There are court involvements. I'm not sure how much inside baseball I should really talk about. Let me make something perfectly clear. I'm not involved in it. I have just been talking to people, and I'm not sure how much they would want me to talk about. All of this will be a matter of open court documents. Like, you'll be able to go to whatever county this is handled in, whatever state this is handled in, and look this information up at the appropriate time. But there are courts involved. Let me just say that, and then I will leave it aside. So that's a thing that's going. Yeah, if you were sitting on your copies of Castle Zagging and Upper Works and all that shit, thinking, yeah, one day I'm just going to be able to just pop this out there. I'd sell quick. You're about to get submarined. Although technically speaking, like mine, and if you got it back in the day, 2004 was back in the day. But if you got it back in the day, it's just for Castles and Crusades. The one that's coming out is for 5th edition. They're adding 5th edition to it. I don't think they're taking out Castles and Crusade stuff, but they're adding in 5th edition. And I just want to say, and I hope this doesn't piss anybody off, but I think I've got some solid ground to stand on when I say this, because I developed for the Yigsburg stuff and I play tested Castles and Crusades. I just don't see a need for Castles and Crusades. When it came along, nobody was doing what Osric and Swords and Wizardry came in and did. But nowadays people are like, oh, what do you think of Castles and Crusades? Boring. Just play 1st edition AD&D. Like the PDFs had their run for sure, but no one was able to do new stuff. Let me tell you something. Dirty Hobbies in History. I know it was very jank, unfortunately, but we had Diesel LaForce on here. If you get a chance to get some DSL artwork, do it. I was so lucky. Do you guys? Okay, I know some of you may not have seen it. Do you guys want to see the illustration that Diesel drew in my Dungeon Master's Guide? Like at GaryCon 2018, I wanted his autograph, and boy did he. He took a gold marker and a black marker and drew an image. Actually, he's done two for me. He did a dragon in my autograph copy of Deities and Demigods, and he did a treasure chest. Practically none, Vaughn. Practically no difference. Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. We'll start with Dungeon Master's Guide. And I'll see if this will come in on the camera. No, you guys can't really see that, so I'll have to stand up and bring it in. Hold on. Did you guys get a good look? That is actually a copy. That is where is that? Take care, Tonka Todd. We'll see you around, brother. In the Dungeon Master's Guide, there is a picture, and I gotta see if I can find this real quick. And then I'll show you guys the dragon he did. What I'm saying about this is, yes, it's absolutely worth your time to seek out David LaForce and get his, Diesel, to seek out Diesel LaForce and get an illustration or an autograph, or buy a piece of his art. Do that. Buy a piece of his art. But that is a copy, that is a rework of an illustration that is already in the Dungeon Master's Guide of a pile of treasure, and I'm trying to find it to show you guys to compare it with. It's somebody grab your DMG PDF and flip through there and find that illustration. I think it's kind of towards the back. I could be wrong, but like I've got Darlene's autograph in here twice. I've got Errol Otis, Jim Ward, and Gary, of course. I have Gary's. Okay, let's see. Now, the drawing in Deities and Demigods, which is just a new drawing. It's not a copy of anything he put in there. I hope I can get Dave Diesel back on the channel, which is right next to Jim Ward's, I should point out. So if you go to Gary Con, or if you go to any one of the many cons that that Diesel of Force is at, take a hardback book and ask him to put a drawing in there for you, and he will. So, yeah, Darlene is a very, very nice lady. I have now. This is. Did it fall down? It did fall down. I have a oversized postcard of her. I love the succubus from the back of the Dungeon Master's Guide, and she signed that for me. I bought this one at Gary Con, and she also signed her for me in the Dungeon Master's Guide. She signed, personalized it for Bill. So if I ever stream and I look like I'm 80 years old, and I'm not, like next week or something, it's because Darlene's succubus caught up with me and gave me my actual reward. Anyway, so hey, old lobster, unbreaded Michael Connor, good to see you. Oh gosh, so what else is going on? So yeah, that's news about Ernie. That's news about the Dungeon Master's Guide. So this week, we're not missing any D&D streaming. I need to reach out to some people. I've been invited to do a live stream on Twitch, to do a live D&D play on Twitch tomorrow night at 9. Now, usually we start first edition AD&D at 9. What I'm going to try and work out, I need to reach out to the person who's doing this and find out if it's still happening. And I'm going to tell you why in just a few minutes. The AD&D game that we stream for you guys will not be canceled. What will happen is we will stream probably from 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30 or something like that. We will play first edition AD&D for you guys. It'll just start and end earlier. And then I'll go over to this stream if it's going to happen. Now, here's the if, and this is where real life kind of no, it's not my live stream connect. I can't combine them. It may be on page 85, Vaughn. No, I don't think any succubi are out there casting haste, Lux. Perhaps slow. So as you may know, there is a very dangerous hurricane. And let me tell you something. I'm a Floridian, and we kind of present a sort of a blasé air, like, hell, it's only a Cat 1. I'm gonna be I'm gonna go to the grocery store when that thing lands. But we take our hurricane safety seriously. This will be a major hurricane when it makes landfall, which means winds north of 110 miles an hour. If you want to know about the amount of energy that is going to be impacting in the Big Bend area of the Panhandle, imagine that for the duration of the hurricane's impact in any one spot, a 1.2 to 5 megaton nuclear warhead being dropped every second that it's there. That's how much destructive energy we're talking about. That's how much, fortunately, not that much thermal energy or radiation, but just in sheer overall energy. So if you kind of picture Florida, here's the Panhandle, here's the peninsula, it's hitting right here. I'm over here. It's here. I'm over here. I wouldn't want to be 25 miles further north and west from where I am, but it should not majorly impact us. The person doing the live stream, I fear, may be impacted, and it will hit tomorrow or Wednesday. So I need to reach out to him and find out if he's going to be postponing the live stream. If he is, then we go normal tomorrow, 9 o'clock to 11 on First Edition AD&D, with a little bit of preamble at 10:30. Ironcaster, greetings. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. LHRPG, she is much better. Thank you. Yeah, people don't consider this, and this is not some new global boiling thing or anything like that, but Alaska can feel typhoon impacts. I mean, you watch, like, historically, hurricanes can get up into the North Atlantic and hit, like, they've had hurricanes hit Ireland, Iceland, England, France, impacted Spain. And the same thing can happen with typhoons. Southern Alaska can get hit by a typhoon. Out north of the Rockies, you know exactly of which I speak. Oh, yeah. What an autumn that was, right? Just boom, boom, boom. And you know what? January of 2005, it didn't last very long. And like, people, like, weather followers argue about the thing. Was it an extremely late storm or an extremely early storm? What, how does it classify? There was actually a tropical storm that blew up in the mid-Atlantic and moved along for a few days and then sputtered out. But anyway, so I don't know for sure what's going to happen tomorrow yet. I will reach out to the person who's doing the game, and we'll go from there. And as soon as I have more information, if we are going to do it, I will I will share links out with you guys, because I'm sure they would like more viewers over there. So you can watch us play AD&D over here. Then you can watch me go play AD&D, not DM Dungeons and Dragons afterwards, if it's going to happen. Now that's an interesting. Okay, so McDougal, you bring up an interesting point. Do we have enough water? Water is actually, people kind of overthink it. But generally speaking, waters, particularly if you're where a water tower, will provide your municipality's water. You're fine. You're fine. Water coming out of the tap is fine. If you're worried about it, boil it. Water's not that big of an issue. Now, you get to where, like, on the coasts, where a hurricane will come in and destroy a water pumping facility, destroy water treatment plants, just dump so much seawater into an aquifer. Yeah, there you absolutely need bottled water. But I have never in my 40 plus years of living in Florida even during Francis, Jean, Charlie, etc. Was I ever not able to turn on the tap and just get water and drink water? So water is fine. Power is the issue. It's always power. It's always power. It's never not power. Oh, LHRPG official, thank you very much for the super. LHRPG asks, what modules would I recommend to someone new to AD&D? I heartily recommend B2 Keep on the Borderlands. T1, The Village of Hamlet, or N1, Against the Cult of the Reptile God. They are very friendly to new DMs. They are very friendly to new players. That is the trinity of modules. They're not related unless you as a dungeon master really want to make them related. But I would say B2, T1, and N1 are your go-tos. Now, some people say that it's the L series. I don't know that I agree with that. The L series are good, but I just don't know that. New to AD&D, sure. New to role-playing games, no. Oh, Matt Colville. Then I take it back. Keep on the Borderlands. Keep on the Borderlands or Village of Hamlet. No, Isle of Dread is not for new players. It's absolutely not. It's a sandbox, but it's a meat grinder. Yeah, my wife and I were having this discussion the other day, and I don't care where on the political spectra you fall. Yeah, and I've talked about, and I'm going to come back to that Doom Sword. But I don't care where on the spectrum you fall. I've never had a moment where I've looked at a governor in this state and said, you failed us. I mean, just like when you become president and you're sat down and you're told the responsibilities of the war plans that you might have to enact if you got to use the football. I think probably in the state of Florida, there is basically the same talk with a capital T. They have new governors about what you need to do during every hurricane. I mean, imagine being the president and just probably in my tenure, we're going to get nuked and I'm going to have to be able to respond to it. That's what being the governor of Florida is like. And they've all done a great job. Federal response has varied, but here in the state, we pull together, we set aside our differences. We come together in this state. We really do. It's why it drives me up the wall. Like when I see, back in 2017, whatever that one was, it started in the Keys and tore up the side of the state and then ripped across the middle and hit us and damaged my house. But when the feds show up And the feds, like down in the Keys, FEMA was like stopping people from like trying to get back to their homes. It's not something that even like the state troopers do in Florida. They'll escort you to your home and make sure you're not there to loot it. So we know what to do here. We know what to do. So again, thank you, LHRPG, for the super. Anyway, N1, there's a point at N1 where your opponent is a Spirit Naga, and they do have Fireball, and they do detonate Fireball over the party, but you have to have an important NPC with you who will use a scroll of Minor Globe of Invulnerability to make it just kind of a dangerous light show. And I hate it. I don't like that at all. I do not like that. That is very handcuffs for the DM. But anyway, let's not get all too politicky in the chat tonight. But anyway, yeah, I'm not. N1 is not. It's okay. It's okay. I would put it at the bottom of the stack. I would definitely recommend you use B2. We're playing B2. We're playing B2 on Tuesday nights, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm mostly going by the module. I'm not using the module's 2 hit charts, but for their hit points, hit dice, and damage done, I'm using what's written in the module. B10, remind me, which one is B10, Kabuki? Which one is B10? That's not the Lost City, is it? No, that's B4. We liked the Lost City. We looked through the Lost City. We did a deep dive on that, and that's a good one. Thank you, High Grade. It's Night's Dark Terror. It can be kind of a fun romp. I'm not too deep in the weeds on basics, so like I see a B module, and my first thought is convert to AD&D. You know, gut and convert to AD&D. Replacing the Spirit Naga, that's a good question. I mean, I suppose one thing you could do is maybe grab your copy of Monster Manual 2 and look up Ophidians. They're basically weir snakes. They're evil weir snakes. And then make the evil weir snake like a 3rd level cleric. Yeah, you could do that. They appear, they can. Excuse me, everyone. I would say. I would say maybe take do that. 3rd level cleric who's also an Ophidian, hence reptile, also able to cast spells, still a threat, not the world, and not like, oh, we have to have this mid high level magic user accompany us. So there are some questions. Do I feel that Back Me is more for younger players? Yes. Yes, I do. If somebody said, hey, run a D&D for a group of kids, I'd grab my Moldvay Basic book and just use that. If somebody said, hey, run a campaign for adolescents on up AD&D. Any thoughts on U1 Salt Marsh? That I forgot about that one. Salt Marsh is good, but its difficulty curve, I think, hockey sticks fairly quickly. But U1 by itself as a starting module for low-level characters, yes. Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh is a fine module. Well, just remember, 2-hit armor class 0 is only a notation for Dungeon Masters in the Dungeon Master's Guide. That's very true. Greetings, old Grognard says. I would recommend, if you're... grab a small town, like if you don't think you're ever going to run the A series, A1, A2, A3, A4, grab Suderham. Suderham is a nice small town. Obviously, you want to make everybody in there that's evil good and delete a few things, but yeah. Let's see. Into the Unknown. As I said, I think it was Friday, Into the Unknown is a good way to learn how to stock a dungeon as a dungeon master. Keep on the Borderlands is a much better module for learn how to run a world, run a campaign world. It is 8.5 by 11 campaign world. Oh, 8.5 by 11. Okay. Again, I know you guys don't. I've never played it. I've never looked at it, Kabuki. I know the name. I joked with Mike Merles on Facebook when it first came out. I was like, thank you. It is so wonderful to have someone who's such a fan of the Delver that you express your love in the name of the module, which he got a kick out of. But other than that, I don't know. Okay, so again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, this is Nick Gerwer, which of course is German for not Gerwer. But I recently did a Twitter thread. Now, if you pay for Twitter monthly, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, Ellen. No, I haven't, McDougal. I'm sorry, I have not. If that was directed at me. But to move on, any fondness for old Dragon Magazine adventures? Yes, Barnacus City of Peril. The city of Barnacus is my map for Hard B. Incidentally, it's also my map for Freeport on the other coast. That's a good one. Barnacus City in Peril is a damn fine urban adventure, and I recommend everyone check out that issue of Dragon. Anyway, speaking of old modules, I created a Twitter thread, which is basically a bunch of linked messages that all post at the same time. They're Twitter post length. But I created a couple of Twitter threads in which I explain how to make your own faux advanced Dungeons and Dragons modules. If you want to lay them out in Microsoft Word, OpenOffice, however you want to do it, I explain how to do it. The fonts you need, the spacing, the point sizes, the margins, the columnar layout, how you need to arrange your art. If you guys want, I can put that in a document and share it with you, if that's something you guys would be interested in doing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to get on my horse here, because this is something I do periodically. And it is this. Nobody was doing classic Dungeons and Dragons look and feel. Nobody was doing classic Dungeons and Dragons look and feel, regardless of what the module content was, until I started doing it. Now, I've said before, it seems like the OSR got a hell of a lot more popular after I started cheerleading it. So maybe there's no OSR without Bill Sylvie, and maybe that's just my ego getting big. Nobody was doing classic D&D module layouts until I started doing classic D&D module layouts again way back in 2000. Nobody did. I showed it to Goodman Games, and guess what? Their Dungeon Crawl Classics rolled out just a year after I said, this is how I do my modules. This is how I do my free modules. Oh, check that out, Fornellis. So, if you want to, I have never used City of Langmar. I love the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser stories. They're foundational. But anyway, the fonts you need for internal text, I'll give you guys a spoiler. I'll put the thing, I'll make it available on Google Drive somehow or the other. But the fonts that you need for internal text are Futura, not Futura. What am I saying? Are Avant-Garde and Avant-Garde Bold. Now you may ask me, well, why don't I just do Control B in my word processor? It's a matter of kerning. It is a matter of kerning. Avant-Garde and Avant-Garde Bold are different, and I can't explain it. You'll have to see it on your screen. No, Vaughn, I'm just saying that nobody was doing new D&D modules that looked like old D&D modules until I had mine out for years. That's all I'm saying. I'm not using the word stole. So, Avant-Garde and Avant-Garde Bold, I think you can get away with italics, but if not, download Avant-Garde Italics. And I'm not sure what the Circus font, and what I mean is this, because I was actually measuring this the other night. This is the layout that I like the best. And I can't remember, that's like Quentin EF. I think this is called Quentin EF. But I got out a ruler and calipers and measured everything, and I wrote up a document like, this is how you do it. This is how you have magic items. This is how you do monster stat blocks and that sort of thing. So I'll share that with you. I'll be happy to share that with you guys if you're interested in that. So kerning, kern. To everything, kern. There are spaces, kern. I don't know the origin of uppercase and lowercase. I mean, one's up here and one's up and one's low. I don't know. But I also don't know printing. Okay, maybe one of you people who are adroit with Word that can tell me this. The paragraphs in classic Dungeons and Dragons modules are all justified. That is, they're even on the left and on the right. They look like a box. Like the words don't stagger to auto fit. It will make a perfect square, which is nice and neat and the way it should be. If you have like 5 words for the last sentence and you have justify and Word turned on, it will take those 5 words and space them out so that last sentence is perfectly justified, but it looks completely screwed up. So like if your last few words of the sentence are, then they will already do, it's not all by itself spaced normally. It's then they will already do, so that the T of van and the O of do are at the ends of the paragraph. And I have tried to fix that. Word justification is just really, really weird that way. And I'm trying not to do it. Yes, Chris. Absolutely. Okay, that Chris comes back to something very important. I'm going to put this up here on the screen. I may have missed it, but for those not on Twitter, will I be announcing the limited time module on Facebook and YouTube? Unquestionably. I mean, if it gets a lot of traction and people love it and they want a print copy, I may do a $20 print copy at $10 if you've already bought it. Maybe. Thank you, Cornelius. That's awesome to know. There should be, but I don't. If there is in Word, I don't know it. I went looking and I just like got a bunch of different answers. Me have stick. I owe people many copy. I owe 3 copy. Me have stick. I owe 3 copy. Me have stick. Me find way to get me have stick 2 3 buyer. But back in the day when I figured it out, when I found this little repository of TSR font info that someone put together, I was like, wait a minute. And I got a ruler and I started measuring things in modules. And just for poops and giggles, I hand copied a page out of, I think, I don't know, was it S4? No, it wasn't S4. It was Dwellers in the Forbidden City. Or maybe it wasn't that one. No, it was a classic module. But I hand copied the page and printed it out on my laser printer and looked at it compared to the page of the module, and it was perfect. It was perfect. Me have resin stick. Me get resin everywhere. I'm going to have to go through and look and see what one of you guys sent me money for me have stick so I can get you a copy. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible about it. I mean, you guys realize it's a shit post, right? You guys realize it's a joke. You're not expecting like an actual like micro RPG. It is literally just a joke. I don't want people to come back and be like, you ripped me off. I mean, you are ripped off right now if you haven't gotten a copy from me, and nobody has. I just want you to understand it's a shit post with my signature on it. That's all. You might have killed someone. Oh my gosh. Yikes. 3D stick not good as theater of mind stick. Some stick player wants stick. Some stick player imagines stick. That up to you. What worked for your table? But anyway, so yeah, I'll try to find you folks who paid for Me Got Stick and send you a copy. I mean, I will send you a copy. I just, Oh, but what else? Okay, so like I said, tomorrow is in limbo as to when we are playing AD&D. I've got to reach out again. The person that was going to be setting this up with me, it's well, I don't want to say yet because I don't know if it's going to happen yet. But it's I was like, hey, this weekend I want to set it up because if I'm going to get onto Twitch, I want to be able to do it. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. And I've never heard anything. You're going to have to take that up with Raul Partha. I would recommend Caveman Minis. Kabuki Kid want refund. Kabuki Kid no get blood from stone. Hey, at this rate, even if it was next year before you guys got me Hamstick, I'd be doing better than the Far West. The Far West is old enough to go to middle school. The Far West, the unfulfilled Far West Kickstarter. How come I don't play 3 times a week as opposed to twice? Because I'm one person with a limited energy pool. But Kyle is hopefully Kyle will get the conflict game going back up on Wednesdays. So we'll be back to 3 streams. That's the other thing. That is the other thing I want to mention. Yeah, I don't know, Al. I don't know. I'm Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver. You have been permanently disconnected from Twitch. Oh, well, so much for that. Why not 14? Why not 14 games a week? But anyhow, was that? Oh, yeah. So, I don't know yet, but Thursday we have a guest, Matt Finch. Matt Finch, Mythmere Games. Matt will be here, and we're gonna be talking to Matt about some cool stuff he's got going on. So get ready. I hope next week. I don't know for sure that this will happen, but I hope next week Heidi and Eric will be on. And the big announcement, and I'll wrap up with this, the big announcement is merch is coming. I know I've been saying merch is coming, but I saw the preliminary artwork today. I got it. And I'm going to spoil it a little bit. Tracy Lesh, the Tracy Lesh, is doing the art for the merch. Shirts, cups, hats, mugs, bags, whatever they'll let me put up on Teespring, you'll be able to get yourself some Delver's Dungeon merch. Matt's not an OSR Doctrines guy. He's not a Doctrines guy, I promise. So yeah, Ron Edwards was very dogmatic. But anyway, so as soon as he has the drawing, I will share it with you guys. I like I said, I saw the preliminary today, and I'm like, that is exactly what I wanted. That is exactly precisely what I wanted. Well, Chris, you might have to be a little disappointed, but this is an homage to a piece of art that he did. No, I'm not a mind flayer or a roper either. This is an homage to another piece of TSR art that he did, and I'm looking forward to you guys seeing it, and hopefully you'll like it. Is he still going to put out the Elf license? We can ask him. We can ask him. Me as the Efreet on the DMG? No. I want to be the knight on the cover of the DMG. Do you know if they're that tough? They're pretty badass. It's the one thing. Like, I was never crazy about Hackmaster, but I did kind of like the fact that that Efreet's getting a lightning bolt through him and getting his hand nearly cut off by the Uri that he's holding in his hand. Pictures of me. My hair's down right now. I'm the Vargoyle from Monster Manual 2. So yeah, I hope to be able to share that with you guys. So we're just about done for the evening. I've got a first edition AD&D game to run tonight. Are there any questions in parting? Any questions at all? And by the way, because I know some folks have asked me, hang on. I just had to check a message there. Who can finish your newest video and get it uploaded? Let's see. We are currently at. This is pretty cool. We're 47.90 on Friday. I think some folks have left the building, which kind of makes me sad, but you know, it is what it is. So. 47.87. That's not bad. We're 13 out from 4,800, which, you know what happens when we reach 4,800? We start moving on to 4,900. But some artists will draw an owl bill. Now that I'll agree with. I feel the owl bear. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. 4787 is a fine number to reach. And what can I say? Wizards of the Coast won't stop screwing up, which means I won't stop doing newsy videos about it. And you guys will get the info as I do. No, I don't, Danny, and don't call me Shirley. So I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and dip on out of here. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I really appreciated it. Thank you, LHRPG, for the super earlier this evening. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, like the video if you like the video. Consider becoming a member or joining us over on Patreon, because those are great ways to support it. And again, at the $10 support level, free first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons modules. And honestly, I don't know how you could say no to that. That's every month. Every month you're going to be getting those, guys. And I think that's a pretty awesome thing. So until tomorrow night, of course, and I'll announce on social media, on the YouTube channel, what's happening when I know it. Keep your eyes peeled for those owl bears.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. crooked horse without a saddle, way off course. Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.